In a world already grappling with a global food crisis, two devastating events have converged, intensifying the struggle for sustenance and amplifying the cries of the hungry. The COVID-19 pandemic brought nations to a standstill, ravaging economies and disrupting supply chains. Borders closed, transportation halted, and millions faced unemployment and food insecurity. As hospitals filled with patients, a conflict erupted between Russia and Ukraine, further exacerbating the crisis. Fields once filled with bountiful harvests became battlegrounds, leaving farmers displaced and crops destroyed. The Russian-Ukraine war intensified the suffering, leaving families fleeing their homes, seeking refuge and struggling to feed their loved ones amidst the chaos. Yet, amid this crisis, humanity's resilience shines. Aid organizations, volunteers, and ordinary people came together, defying borders and working tirelessly to provide food and support to those in need. Community gardens sprang up, providing fresh produce to vulnerable populations. Local initiatives ensured that no one went hungry, fostering a sense of solidarity and hope in the face of adversity. Today, as we battle the twin challenges of COVID-19 and conflict, we must acknowledge the interconnected nature of our struggles. Only by addressing these crises holistically can we forge a path towards a more resilient and equitable future. In this documentary, we will shed light on the immense challenges faced during the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine conflict, highlighting the indomitable spirit of humanity and the urgent need for global collaborations to overcome these crises. We will listen to the story of three people, a Malaysian B40 couple and an Egyptian widow with one child.
Before COVID-19, our situation was challenging as a B40 couple. We faced financial concerns and at times it was difficult to afford nutritious food consistently. We had to carefully budget our expenses to ensure we could meet our household food needs. It was a constant struggle, but we managed to get by. Yes, the food crisis situation worsened during COVID-19. The movement restrictions and economic uncertainties affected everyone, including us. The rising prices of essential items and limited availability of certain goods made it much more challenging to access food. We had to make adjustments to our shopping habits and find alternative sources for affordable food. Overall, the situation in Malaysia was difficult for many households, especially those who are already facing financial difficulties.
Okay, so to answer the question, if Malaysia were directly affected by a crisis like the Russian and Ukraine war, it would be crucial for the government to prioritize the development of agriculture in the country. Also, by focusing on local agriculture, we can also increase food production and reduce the dependence on imports. While it may not be an immediate solution, with proper investment in agriculture practice, technology and also support for farmers, Malaysia has the potential to produce more food and also reduce reliance on imports over time. So lastly, it will require collective efforts and also a long-term commitment to sustainable agriculture practice. Okay, so thankfully, after COVID-19, our situation has improved a lot compared to the peak of the pandemic. As restrictions eased and the economy started to recovering, we regained some stability in our livelihoods. So the access to food became relatively easier, and we are able to afford a wider variety of options. But however, it's important to note that the impact of the pandemic will continue to be felt for some time, and there are still vulnerable communities in need of support. So,
before COVID-19, life was difficult as a single mother, but I tried my best to provide for my child. We faced financial struggles, but we managed to have enough food to sustain ourselves, although it meant sacrificing some necessities. During COVID-19, the situation became even more challenging. There's limited opportunity for work, so I had to find alternative ways to support my child. I started taking odd jobs whenever possible, but the income was still unstable. It became harder to afford nutritious food, and we had to rely on cheaper options. The food crisis here in Egypt was prevalent. because with rising prices and shortages of certain essential items. The impact of the Russian-Ukraine war was severe here in Egypt because there is disruption in global supply chain which led to shortages and price increases for various food items, especially the wheat. The wheat we use to make the baladi bread, which most households here rely heavily on that because that is the most affordable for most families here. And as a result, my main source of food, not just mine, but many people here in Egypt, shifted to whatever was available in the local markets. However, even those options became limited, and I often struggled to find the essential item that we need. It was a very difficult time for many families, including mine. After COVID-19, the situation here slowly improved because restriction was eased and the economy started to recover. I was able to find more stable work opportunities, which also helped me provide a more consistent income. And then access to food became easier as we regained some stability in our daily lives. But there are still lingering effects from the past crisis, and I remain cautious about the future.
As our documentary journey comes to a close, we reflect upon the profound impact of the global food crisis during the COVID-19 and also the Russian-Ukrainian war. So, these events have tested our resilience, challenged our compassion, and also revealed the strength of the human spirit. So, in the face of immense adversity, we witnessed extraordinary acts of solidarity. The volunteers, organizations, and individuals all rose to the occasion by extending a helping hand to those who need it the most. So our exploration also uncovered the innovative solution and sustainable practices that are transforming the agricultural landscape from regenerative farming methods to local food systems. So basically, these initiatives offer a glimmer of hope for a more resilient future. Our documentary has shed light on the interconnectedness of global challenges all around the world. So, the COVID-19 pandemic basically and the Russian-Ukraine war that happened was served as a stark reminders that our actions ripple across borders, affecting all those lives far beyond our immediate reach. For the conclusion, together we can build a world where everyone has access to nutritious food, where conflicts are basically resolved through dialogue and also compassion, and where no crisis is too great for our collective will to overcome.